Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome to the video. I want to chat with you guys today about something that people don't really like to talk about because it is kind of a blow to the ego sometimes. Sometimes we really let our ego get in the way of our results, but I think that it's worth having the difficult conversation with ourselves for the sake of getting the results that you want to get, right? So I'm never about the short-term comfort if it is putting your long-term goals at risk. And that's exactly what's happening when we tell ourselves these little white lies. And you might not even realize that you're telling yourself these white lies because these are things that are kind of out there in the vortex there that are just miscommunicated or not true. They're not accurate. So one of the things that we tell ourselves a lot of times is that, or maybe somebody else has told you, is that you are eating too little, and this is the reason that you have trouble with your fat loss goals. By the way, I didn't introduce myself. If this is the first video you're watching of mine, forgive me. My name is Tara. I'm a registered nurse, a health coach, a nutritionist, and a personal trainer. Okay, back to it. So maybe you've heard before somebody say that you're eating too little and this is why you're not noticing fat loss results. You're in starvation mode, and maybe you should increase the amount that you're eating to get out of starvation mode to see results. Or maybe you've heard that fat loss really comes down to how much you're exercising. And you've said like, oh, I just don't have time to exercise, or I just don't have the motivation. Hey, Cheryl, I don't have the motivation to exercise. You know, it's all about that exercise. Once I get to that exercise, I'll be good on my fat loss goals. But until then, I'm not going to reach them. Those are not true. 99.999% of the time, those are not true. Those are not the things that are holding you up. Is exercise helpful? Absolutely. And it's helpful for you to build muscle. So if one of the things I had a post yesterday or the day before about toning up, if toning up is your goal, then what you're actually looking to do, toning up is not a real thing. Toning up is a two-step process. It's fat loss plus muscle building. Okay, so for the muscle building part in particular, you really do need that fitness, right? So if toning up is your goal, or you're looking to grow your muscles, you're looking to get stronger, fitness is going to be a big part of it, right? And if you follow me on Instagram, you see that I post my workouts every single day. I'm not saying exercise is not important. Exercise is very important, but I am saying that that's not the reason that you're not achieving your fat loss goals. It's easy to tell yourself that because for some reason, our ego likes that better, to say, oh, I just don't have time to work out. That's the reason I'm not achieving my goals. I just need to find the time or, the motivation or whatever. It's easier to say that. It's also a heck of a lot easier to believe that you're not achieving your fat loss goals because you're under eating. Again, think about it. This is a huge ego thing. For some reason, the society that we're in makes it very hard to say, I'm eating too much for my goals. That feels hard to say. I get it. That's triggering for some people, right? But if you say, I'm just eating too little, I must be in starvation mode, that feels better. So you've heard that some point on the internet, who knows where, and you wanted to believe that. I don't blame you. It's a nice thing to believe, right? And it's kind of pseudo-science, so you can sort of see how people would tell you, if you're in starvation mode, your body holds on to everything it needs and then you can't lose weight, but it's not true. And you can see that when you look at, if I put you in a room with no food for a week, do you think that you would stay the same weight, or do you think you would lose a lot of your body fat? You'd lose a lot of your body fat, right? There are adaptations that happen that might sort of down-regulate your metabolism a bit, meaning that you'll require less calories, less energy if you do have a big energy deficit, a big calorie deficit. So there are these things that happen. Our thyroid kind of reduces in function because it's not needed as much, right? So if you're not telling your body, this is how much food I'm bringing on board, this is how much you get to use, your body will adapt and change. But it does not adapt and change so much to the point where if you're bringing in these tiny amounts of calories, please don't do that, that you are not going to be losing body fat. If you brought in a tiny amount of calories, you would be losing body fat. That's not the way to do it. What you need is to have a deficit, a small enough deficit, where your body is having to turn to its own fat stores to use it up as energy, to get everything that it needs to be fully nourished. But at the same time, it's not so much that you tank your metabolism, okay? But please understand that if you're not losing body fat, it is not the case that you're eating too little. That's not the case. That is not the case, okay? It might be hard to hear. You might want to throw something at your phone right now if you're watching this on your phone. You might hate me right now, but I'm going to give it to you straight because you deserve to get your results that you want. Even if that makes you a little bit uncomfortable right now, I think that you deserve the long-term things that you're going for. So I just want to give it to you straight. What happens is you might be under eating, all these notifications, you might be under eating for a short period of time. You might be under eating Monday through Friday. You might think you're under eating and not realize that your portion sizes are bigger than you think, or you forget to add in those little bites that you have, or you forget to add up your liquid calories. There's a lot of things that happen in our environment, in our food environment, especially right now in this day and age, that makes it really hard to estimate what we're bringing in. So I'm not saying that you are on purpose, deceiving yourself and saying that you're bringing in less food than you really are. I think what is probably happening is that you're thinking about how, because our brain likes to remember the negative, right? So let's say you are under eating a lot Monday through Friday. Your brain is going to remember how hungry you were. Your brain is going to remember how little you ate, how restrictive it was, and all of that. Your brain is then going to kind of underestimate how much you overate on the weekend, right? Because if you're under eating severely during the week, one thing that happens is that pendulum swings completely to the other side, and Friday night happens, Saturday, Sunday, and you end up overeating, okay? We can't stay in such a huge energy deficit for so long. So a better way to go about it is to have a much smaller deficit. Be realistic about your goals. You're not going to drop 20 pounds in a month, and that's okay, because why try to go for that when you're just hitting your head against the wall every single time? Why not do something that's actually effective, that's actually going to work, and it's going to fit into your lifestyle? So instead of binging from Friday night to Sunday night, you get to enjoy, an indulgence here or there and still feel like you're on track. Here's the most important thing to take away. If you can't work out right now, you have an injury, you really believe that you don't have even 5 minutes to work out, whatever it is, if you can't work out right now, that is not an excuse to not reach your fat loss goals. Maybe you want to use that as an excuse, but that's not a real excuse. You can absolutely make progress on your goals through just what you bring in through your food. No additional time, no additional money. You can do it through just what you bring in. And please understand that it is not the case that you are in starvation mode and that is why you're not making progress on your goals, okay? If you're not losing body fat, you are not in an energy deficit on average. You could be in an energy deficit on Monday, but you're not on average in an energy deficit if you're not losing body fat. Our body, it's very black and white. It's a very black and white way to be able to tell if you are or not. If you're in an energy deficit, you're going to be losing body fat. If you're not in an energy deficit, you're not going to be losing body fat. This goes whether you have PCOS, this goes whether you have hypothyroidism, any other diagnosis under the sun. This is one of those things that fits for everybody, okay? If you need help figuring out how much food you need to bring on board, because we don't want to be malnourished, we want to make sure that we're really well nourished and taking in plenty of good food and what we need and still be able to make progress on our goals. This is what I do for a living. I help clients one-on-one. I give them a customized fitness plan. I give them a customized nutrition plan. And then we do all the other important stuff, the coaching, the mindset stuff. You're going to feel on top of the world. I want you to feel so freaking capable and so freaking confident. That's my goal as your coach. We work through what about these scenarios. We go through time management. We talk about emotional eating and drinking because that's something that happens, right? And if we don't address that, you're gonna have a hard time reaching your goals. So just shoot me a message if you're interested in talking more about that. And if there's anything I can do to help, whether we work together or not, I'm here for that. Have a good day. Bye.